This week on Quad and B, we're taking you in the southern part of Fredericton. We will talk about 4 clubs: Rusagonish, Route 101, CFB Gagetown, York County West, and Rockland Mudrunners. So stay with us, Quad and B.
This week, we will be visiting the southwestern part of New Brunswick, Region 6. The region counts over 2,000 members in total, and we will start with the CFB Gagetown Club. Their trails are mostly on the National Defense property and mostly managed by the military. The Rusagonish Club, a little more to the west, offers many opportunities to connect to all other neighboring clubs. Come on out and discover the magic behind a great deal of volunteering in the south central part of New Brunswick.
You know what? This is ATVing. You have to ride under all the conditions. Today it's raining, but still we're there, loyal to our show. My guest today, Jim McGreggor. Jim, thanks for being there. VP of our federation and also president of the Rusagonish Club. We will be talking in the first segment of the show, Rusagonish and Route 101, which you will be talking about us. Give us a little more information on those 2 clubs.
Well, the Rusagonish ATV Club, located south of Fredericton, as you said. Locals call it the Gornish. That's just the name for the area. We got about 500 people in our club. One of our local landmarks is the Patrick Owens Covered Bridge. Beautiful spot, built in 1892, I believe it was. Crosses the Rusagonish River.
So a little bit of history still connected.
It is. It's a very old area. A lot of our trails are old logging roads. We even have some on the old stagecoach roads that used to head out to Harvey and Macadam area.
Okay, this is something that we tend to see and to hear from club to club. This is show number 4. We've talked about this historic point of view for ATVing. So Fredericton is also in the loop for people who look for that.
Yes, it's a very historic area. I'll dip a little bit into the Route 101 Club. They're located down in Fredericton Junction. If you ever visit that area, on their trails, again, it's an old stagecoach road, but they have some beautiful carvings pictating the events, I don't know how many, 100 years ago.
Wow.
Where a local peddler was mugged and robbed. But in order to learn about it, you actually have to go on their trails and stop by and see that site. It's a beautiful spot to stop and have a Diet Pepsi and enjoy the shade. Beautiful spot.
How can we do that? People that want to travel there, how is it possible? Do the clubs connect, those 2 clubs?
Our club, the Rusagonish Club, we connect up with the Route 101 Club, which is Fredericton Junction, the York County West Club, which is towards the Hanwell area, and of course the CFB Gagetown Club. Hopefully you can talk a little bit specific about that later, because obviously on CFB Gagetown there's a few more rules to follow.
Yes.
If you go on our website, you can see our map, and it's very Google friendly.
In the second portion of the show, we will be talking also of CFB Gagetown, York County West, and Rockland Mudrunners.
Great.
So we'll hit those details with our next guest. Jim, you are VP of the Federation. So
yes.
You know this is a brand new industry. Still, the Federation is 17 years old, or even more than that. But still, there are many things to accomplish in your specific area.
Oh, there is. And we have been growing by leaps and bounds. I first got involved in this club back in 2005. At that time, we had a 9-kilometer piece of rail bed, which is what we're on today. Now we're at 195 kilometers of managed trail, and that's both summer and winter. Winter, we're down to 70 kilometers. But the whole sport has been growing. Our area, every area, and the amount of involvement and people joining nowadays is phenomenal. You know, we've gone from a federation, 10,000-ish, well over 20,000 now.
For those 2 clubs here, we're talking about Rusagonish and Route 101. What are the biggest challenges that you have to face?
The biggest area, or the biggest challenge we have is it's a wetland. So there's some beautiful areas maintained by Ducks Unlimited, great for hunting, great for fishing, but wetlands have their own challenges. So there's a lot of environmental impact. There's a lot of protected areas. So we have to get a lot of permits to enable to traverse those areas safely and without disturbing the wildlife.
Okay. Still the same question I had to ask all our guests. Highway number 10, all the clubs would like to see that within let's say before 2020, how will it be possible for you guys here?
In this area, we're actually probably a little bit ahead of the curve. Right now, in 2017, we're going to be opening up a trail into Armagto. That's going to be the start of our provincial network. It'll join up to Lincoln, where we are now, down through Wasis, down to Fredericton Junction, and from there it's going to connect out to Harvey. So we're really linking up pretty good.
Okay. Many events? You must, because most of the clubs get their financing from
yes,
those events.
We raise quite a bit of our funds through events. We do 3 poker runs a year, and then we do 3 other more fun runs. We also participate in the Armagto Pioneer Days Parade on Canada Day.
Okay.
Great turnout for that.
Great. You look at all the other clubs in the province as VP of the board of directors of the federation. I asked the question to your president. I will ask it to you also. Where do you see the ATV industry within the next 4 years?
Hopefully we're on the same page on this. But every year it's getting bigger and better. We attend our directors' meetings. The directors know exactly what their clubs are doing. They're linking up together. Presidents are talking to presidents. They're getting out and getting involved with the local communities. They're talking to their mayors, their councillors. This sport is really growing. I definitely see us linking the whole province together within 5 years.
The goal of this show is to get people from outside the province and also inside the province. We do know that Department of Tourism does not yet recognize the fact that tourism-wise, the ATV industry does not have that recognition yet. But we're trying to get there because we call it local tourism or regional tourism, which is not recognized yet. What would the Federation have to do to get that, how would I say that recognition from the province?
I'd say we've started. We've actually been working pretty good with the Ministry of Tourism. I know that's not the proper name, but we've been working pretty good with them. We've been getting in good with DNR, and a lot of the events the Federation has been sponsoring and promoting has really helped out a lot. I'll give an example. This is a volunteer job. My real job is I'm in the military. I move around a lot. I've been posted to the Maritimes 3 times. This last 10 years since I bought an ATV, I've seen more of this province than I ever did on any of my other previous postings. It gives you an excuse to go out and see the rest of the province. And on these trips and on these poker runs, you're not just meeting the local people anymore. They're coming in from PEI, they're coming in from Nova Scotia, they're even coming down from Quebec and even Maine sometimes now. So we're seeing it's definitely growing.
And more, we have some applications, if I can call them so, from people from the Ontario, because with the dollar exchange, we have more and more calls day after day for them to come and visit New Brunswick, because we've said it in the previous shows that this is a brand new product that you're offering to the tourists.
It is, and we're definitely growing, and this is a lot less than taking a cruise. So I don't know if you want to compare the two, but this is another way to have a good vacation without breaking the bank.
You're right. It's cheap also. Not cheap on the quality, but cheap on the price, on the packages, as we call them, because more and more businesses offer services like ATV rentals and all that stuff. Jim, if I'm from outside the province and I would like to come and visit your area, what would you suggest?
Well, your first stop would obviously go online, visit the New Brunswick ATV Federation website. You know, they have good information there, but they'll give you the names and contact numbers of the local clubs. So if you have a specific area you want to go to, get a hold of the local club. And most of the time, the volunteers in that club, they'll invite you out for a ride. That happens quite often.
And free.
Free.
It's all volunteering, because
all volunteers.
They do want to see more people here and benefit of this project. Year after year, Jim, you see a membership increase for the Federation. In 2015, it was somewhere over 20,600 or so. So this is a good sign.
It's a great sign. It means we're getting a lot of buy-in, even from the residents of New Brunswick. They're seeing the value in what we're doing. They're recognizing now, if you see a blue post, you see an ATV in a green circle, that's a managed trail. It's safe. You have permission to be there. No one's going to tell you to get off their property. The trail is not going to end in a dead end somewhere. It's going to take you somewhere. That's it.
Last question, last topic. You were involved, you were the chairman of a committee that was put in place for signage.
Yes.
This was a hard work that you've done.
It was an interesting project, because the ATV Federation is not as old as a lot of people think it is. We're still in our infancy. We're coming a long way, but signage for a snowmobile, signage for a car, signage for an ATV, there are subtle differences. So what we did is we looked at the things that we need for ATVers, what do we need to see in the woods for signage, but we made sure it's compatible with the snowmobile trails, because a lot of times we're going to share the same piece of land. And it also should be very similar to what you see on the roads in towns, because you're used to seeing that kind of signage. So we've cleaned up a lot of the signage, and over the next couple of years you're going to see a lot better signage on our trails.
Which will be a lot easier for the volunteers.
Much easier for the volunteers, less expense,
yes.
Because we've cut down the number of signs, and safer overall.
Jim, to wrap it up, 30 seconds, sell your area, it's all yours. 30 seconds to do so, it's free.
So, the Rusagonish. Again, locals call it the Gornish. One of the big things in our area is we're kind of known as the swamp people. We have a few mud holes and a few gravel pits that have seasonal water holes in them that we like to play in. We do not cross any fish-bearing streams. We don't go play in the lakes, but that is our thing here. You'll notice a lot of our club members, they wear their chest waders.
Oh, that's
It's one of the things we like to do. It's a lot of fun, but it's clean, environmentally friendly.
Like
fun.
a little cap.
Oh, and of course we have our club swag. We always got to get our logo in.
That's it, Jim. Congrats. After we will be back with CFB Gagetown, York County West, and Rockland Mudrunners. Stay with us.
At an average cost of a new ATV of $13,892, it means ATV sales in dollar amounts in New Brunswick give an approximate total of $32,215,548, and that does not include additional purchases like clothing and ATV accessories, parts, repairs, registration, and insurance, and the club's expenditures. 38,000 quads registered in 2014, $608,000 in registration fees, plus $6 for each trail permit sold at Service New Brunswick counters. The ATV industry is planning to invest more than $1.25 million a year for the next 5 years to complete 3,000 kilometers of new trails and develop a provincial trail network with 4-season tourism products. Located near the Canada-U.S. border, at the head of the mighty St. Croix River, Rockland Mudrunners ATV Club is the gateway to New Brunswick from the state of Maine and home to the Macadam train station, a National Historic Site and Provincial Heritage Place, along with the Macadam Campground on the beautiful Waukellahegan Lake. The York County West ATV Club makes the southwest crown of the New Brunswick capital, including Route 101 ATV Club. Their trails connect to give a splendid view of the Mactaquac Basin and crossings on scenic wilderness trails. Woolastook Campsite and Campground are accessible from our trails.
Welcome back to Quad and B. Yes, the show that will take you right in the heart of New Brunswick, the only show that talks about ATVing in the province of New Brunswick. And we're still in South Fredericton. We talked in the first part of the show about the clubs Rusagonish, Route 101. Now we'll be talking about the clubs CFB Gagetown, York County West, and also Rockland Mudrunners. We have its president, Mr. Vance Johnson. What a pleasure to have you here. Or I should say, what a pleasure for us to be here with you.
Thank you.
Vance, how about those 3 last clubs that I just mentioned?
So 3 clubs. The base Gagetown Club is a bit of a unique entity within the province because it's entirely located on the base. So they have it's national land, so it's a little bit different situation. They have their own roads and their own trails, but they are a club part of the ATV Federation. The York County West Club is just south of Fredericton as you come out towards Harvey and Macadam in that area. They have a great membership, I believe up over 400. Wondrous trails on some old woods roads and connect, of course, with the neighboring clubs from the first part of the show with the Rusagonish and Route 101, and of course the Rockland Mudrunners.
Yes.
The Mudrunners are from the village of Macadam, which is in the southwest corner of New Brunswick, and we border on the state of Maine, so we are actually a port of entry.
That's it.
From the state of Maine. The actual boundary is about 5 kilometers or so from the village, but that gives us a little bit of a leg up with the tourists coming in from the United States.
Do they have access on the trail?
Absolutely.
In the United States?
They do. As soon as you enter Canada at the border crossing located at St. Croix, New Brunswick, there's a trailhead right there where they can offload and actually hit the number 10 ATV trail, which is a provincial trail. Comes right through McAdam and then goes north to Woodstock and on to Centerville and those places.
Wow, so the people who want to travel, want to have a nice, not only nice, but a great time, should come in your area.
Absolutely, absolutely. We welcome anybody that wants to come.
The strengths of those three clubs. I know that we all have to work together, but about those three, what makes the difference?
The strength of any club is its members, of course, its volunteers and the people that are behind it. And finding that right mix on the executives and the working members of the club and the people that are backing everything you do, that's what makes a club strong, any club, of course. The ATV clubs aren't just about ATVing. We are, we're also a bit of a service club, if you will, similar to a Lions Club or that sort of thing. We hold events. We raise money for various different applications within our communities, that support our members, who in turn support us. So those are the sorts of things that put you in good favor with your members, have your members join and support you each and every year, and the more membership, the better off you're going to be.
Great. So you talked about Highway number 10. I talked about it with our president. Lots of issues for many clubs, but in your area, this problem seems to be tossed over. It's not a problem.
Not a huge issue for us. We're very fortunate that way. The abandoned or the old rail bed that the Canadian Pacific had from McAdam was a major road onto Woodstock and so far north. We have a lease agreement with CPR for that, so it is it's the funnel that brings the tourist into McAdam, into the village from the ATV and snowmobiling perspective. So again, we're very fortunate to have that direct route right to the village.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
You're talking about access to the village. That was my next question. Access to services.
Services in the village, we have, of course, restaurants and fuel, and you can get groceries. We have a campground right on beautiful Waklahagan Lake. It's right within the village limits. The village bounds right on the lake. So we have camping facilities. Along with the fuel, et cetera, et cetera. A few tourist destinations. We have the famous McAdam train station. That is there. It's a national historic site. It sees a little over 5,000 tourists a year come in and actually take the tour of the building. It's circa 1910 architecture that's built from stone that was quarried right near the village. So it's an absolute masterpiece, and you got to come see it, Jock. You got to come in.
I will. We will. We invite everyone to be there. Still, on your side also, we're in a certain part of New Brunswick full of history. And you just have that proof. So people don't only come here to visit, they come here to get educated on your region's history.
Sure, absolutely. We are on the border of the St. Croix River, which is again a national heritage river, which serves as the boundary between the province of New Brunswick and the state of Maine. The head of that river is Spednick Lake. We have a provincial campground on Spednick Lake, which is about 6 kilometers outside of the village of McAdam. So we have camping facilities that close on international waters, where you can drop on your ATV and drive right to town and pick up your supplies and that sort of thing. So it's and of course the trails leading down the St. Croix River towards St. Stephen and in that area. There are several campgrounds along that river. And it's great. It's fantastic fishing, beautiful scenery. You can't beat it.
Well, can we just cut and get the bike and drive down there? No.
Let's go.
Let's go right away.
Yeah.
But people who are watching the show want to come in the area but are not too familiar with the area. What can they do? You have a website, a Facebook site, a Facebook page, or what?
We do not at this time have a Facebook page. It's something that we have a little subcommittee from the executive that's working on that sort of thing. We do, however, have some web space on the New Brunswick ATV Federation website, and there are maps available along the website. We have maps when you come to town. They're at the fuel depot and the grocery depot. You can pick up maps of the area. So show some of the local trails that aren't necessarily on the ATV website. So we hope to have the Facebook page up and running very soon, and that, of course, will reach everybody instantly. So that's the direction we're heading in. We're just not quite there yet.
Well, still the work is being done.
Absolutely.
Your volunteers work hard as you are working hard. It's the same thing. If you're at home and you're watching the show, rather you're from the area or outside the area, somewhere else in the province, or outside the province, you can always call the Federation and we will direct you to those clubs. We will arrange for a visit. Sometimes it's for a weekend, some other times it's for a week and even 2 weeks. Vance, same question as I asked the others. Where do you see your clubs? The 3 clubs we're talking about, CFB Gagetown, York County West, Rockland Mudrunners. Where do you see all those 3 clubs in 2020?
Hopefully we're going to see a lot more, a lot larger and greater trail system that connects all of the clubs and all of the municipalities along that route. The dream of the provincial trail and the that sort of thing has been ongoing since 1999 when we started the Federation, that sort of thing. So we've been at it a long time, and we keep chipping away at it. But hopefully things progress a little bit faster every year. We gain a little bit more ground, and it always has a little bit of an uplift look to it. So hopefully in 2020 that we'll make those connections, and the signage program, everything will be well signed, the maps will be well done, and people won't have any issue getting from A to B and back again.
I'll go on a personal level. Why do you get involved?
The love for the sport, initially when I first started ATV, that was great. It was there weren't a lot of trails. There weren't any clubs really back in the day, but it was something that I could do with my wife and my children, who were small at the time. It was a family thing. Myself and some other couples, we'd get together, go on a day run, and it was just an enjoyable thing to get out, get back into nature, go to some of these scenic sites and visit them, do a little fishing, do a little that sort of thing. It's really calming, and it's just a great sport, an all-around great sport.
And we have a nice taste of the bugs and flies and mosquitoes and everything that counts on it. This is part of the fun, We're standing here right in the middle of the wood. Yes, we do have flies, but we managed to live with it. Just the fun that we can experience while we ATV is worth it.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's all part of the game. It's just like you say, the worst day here is better than the best day at work, right? So I'll take this any day.
I love that one. I do love it. Well, on my side, it's pleasure all the time because it's part of my work, so it's pleasure all the time.
Yep.
Hey, Vance, thanks for being here with us today. We've talked about the first part of the show, Rusagonish, Route 101. Then with you, CFB Gagetown, York County West, Rockland Mudrunners, all those clubs that count over 1,400 members. Keep up the good work, and hope you'll be there to watch the show next week, because we'll be in the southern part of New Brunswick. We'll talk about Club Central Greenwich Trailblazers, Granby Westfield Riders, Musquash ATV Club, Charlotte County. So be with us next week.
Welcome to Riding Tips with Jim. This week we're going to talk about proper turning technique. ATV differentials do not work the same as your car. Both rear wheels turn at the same speed. They require special turning skills. Always look into the turn. At low speeds, as you turn the handlebars in the direction of the turn, shift your body weight forward and to the inside of the turn. At higher speeds, the method of turning is similar to lower speeds. The difference is, as speed increases, you must lean your body further forward towards the inside of the turn, while keeping your weight on the outer footrest. This is to balance the higher cornering force as the vehicle speed increases. If your ATV starts to tip while turning, lean your upper body further into the turn while gradually reducing your throttle, making the turn wider. This has been Riding Tips with Jim. Keep the rubber side down.